Beep, 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 beep. Well, news arse of gravy. Good morning. It's Saturday. Look, sun. Sun has been like, a Trump's groin here for the last bloody God knows how many days. Dark and moist. Now, a few things this morning. It's only a quick one. He says, all right? A few things this morning. And let's start with, looks like another trustee of Mermaids has been outed as a nutter. There's a great picture of her doing the rounds. On the Daily Mail website it was originally, I think. And lo and behold, what have we got in the corner? Manchester Pride. So we'll be investigating that fully to find out whether there are any links between this nutter and other nutters and Manchester Pride. As you well know, Mermaids have had a bashing over the last few days because they've had some diddly bloke got himself in the naughty step, to say the least. Now we've got this one. Sex is very complicated. It's not just simply a binary. Yep, go away. Done with you, you fucking withers, right? So that's the first thing, is we've got this mad doctor. I'm using the term loosely. Who obviously needs to go from any position regarding doctoring if she thinks that sex isn't binary. I believe she thinks she's non-binary. The irony, the pure queer irony. Sex isn't binary, but I'm non-binary. Right, okay. Now, I don't know why I'm doing a Scottish accent this morning, except that Scotland has been very much on my mind since I got up this morning and read the news. So let's talk about Scotland. A wee buddy country. Wonderful, superb country. I've got a real soft spot for Scotland. You know, that point when you get past Carlisle and you go over the border and you see the first nice, fair, really sort of long-haired cow, and then you can stop on the right-hand side, there's a little cafe and you get your first haggis pie. Right? Edinburgh in January is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. They've got a fantastic restaurant called The Witchery. You can go around Edinburgh Castle, and driving up through the Highlands is an experience that everybody should have because it is an incredibly beautiful country populated by very, very friendly and stalwart people who like a bevy. I can say that, I think, and get away with it. And we see Scottish people represented all the time on television in various things and films. JK, of course, gave us the fabulous Professor McGonagall, played by the marvellous Maggie Smith, who incidentally also played a rather different colour of Scot altogether in the prime of Miss Jean Brodie. My girls are the creme de la creme. Who obviously was nuts as well. Funny that, isn't it? See, she can do both. Scots, stalwart people. So what have we had? Here's the good thing, if you can call it a bloody good thing. It's really a very bad thing, but it shows them up for what they are. During the consultation for changes in the Gender Recognition Act, really being pushed forward by that poison dwarf Sturgeon. Right? She's pushing this crap forward. Scotland's going, yay, let's ruin children's lives. And they've looked at the cash review and said it doesn't apply because it only applies to England. Right? That tells you everything you need to know. This has got nothing to do with equality and everything to do with ideology. To actually state that. Despite the fact, wait for it, because it's in England, they're not going to use it, right? But when it came to what they were going to do for the GRA, they've been quite happy to go to any country that will support them. It is purely ideological. And Sturgeon, she's not going to see this, is she? Right? Not if they put the phone up high. I shouldn't, but I will. The woman's obviously feckless, and she needs to go. Now, the hope is that the UK will be able to do, Britain, England and the UK will be able to do something about this and block it. I think they've got no choice but to do so. At this point, the Scottish Parliament seems to have completely lost its mind in every respect. So I would say that what we need to do there is to really hope that Liz Truss and the crew, who are a bit floundery at the moment, let's hope they can do better, but they're a bit floundery, they need to do something to stop this. Because Scotland has now gone full-on bonkers. They are ideologically driven in this, right? And there are many Scottish people who are extremely, and rightly so, unhappy about this. To the extent where I've been sent some information about a school from Scotland, which I'm going to do a separate piece on because it requires that kind of attention. And it's, about what they're teaching people's kids, which ties in with the sort of final bit of news of this short 5-minute job before I start teaching, is that the Independent Commissioner's Office, or whatever his name is, the ICO decides whether or not, information should be dished out, has decided that schools don't have to show any of the materials that these gender identity and queer theory nutters are teaching under the guise of it being about LGB. They don't have to show them that. And parents have no right to see it due to copyright. Fuck off. right? This is a hoary old trainer here. I've been doing it a very long time, 30 years, teaching, training, adult education, that sort of thing. Let me tell you this. If a company or any individual isn't willing to show you the slides that they are using, then the content is not the problem, they are, right? Because any good trainer doesn't need them. Anyone who is able to stand up and talk truthfully and honestly about the subject at hand will have the slides for the ease of the learner. Not because they need to read from them, because they don't know their stuff. The only reason that they wouldn't want the parents to teach them is because they think that their slides are the content. Which means they've got people out there just going out, reading slides, and then laying their ideology over the top of it. If I was teaching schools, God forbid that I would. I couldn't think of anything worse. But if I was teaching teachers, that might be a different story. But teaching the kids, no thank you. But teaching the teachers, now, even the kids, if I was doing that, right, and the head said to me, we're getting concerns from parents. You know, they're concerned that you're teaching our children that sex isn't real and having, you know, bits cut off you and your tits ripped off and your cock and balls gone is a good thing. We're a bit worried that, you know, that's a message they shouldn't be getting. As if the head would have to do that, but it would, right? Because, you know, teachers are mostly liberal twits at this point, even though we've got all the evidence that this is going on. The parents are worried. My response wouldn't be, tough, right? We have commercial obligations to blah, blah, blah. We invented this. Nah, no, they didn't. I can put together their agenda in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I could do their training just by looking at the contents page. Because I know what they're going to say, because it's all the same ideological bullshit. Welcome. The world of gender is complicated. Sex is not binary. Blah, 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 blah. Talking about gender identity ideology is a transphobic dog whistle. Oh, and by the way, you're either Barbie or you Ken. And if you're Barbie or you Ken, but you're not Barbie or you Ken, you know what I mean? We're going to cut your bits off. It's not complicated. Okay? So what they're doing, in essence, is saying, our commercial interests are more important than your children. Okay? So, from my perspective, oh, Barry, we are having some serious concerns from parents. That's not a problem, Mr. Head Teacher. Let's put on some sessions in the evening and I'll take the parents through exactly what we're doing. Why aren't they? Why aren't they? Right? What would it take to do that? That's okay. You pick 3 nights in this month, send it out to parents, ask them to pick the one that want to come on. My God, you can do it on Eventbrite. And I will come along and I will answer all their questions and I will tell them exactly what they're doing. The only reason they're not doing this is because the last thing they want is scrutiny. These people are ideologically dangerous muppets. Right, so I've decided that what we're going to do is we're going to crowdfund some money. And we're going to do it specifically for the Scottish parents who are having the biggest fight and the Welsh parents who are having a big fight with this. And we're going to raise enough money so that we can provide every parent with an electric cattle prod. And then, in the words of Tootsie, played by Dustin Hoffman, if any of these gender ideology wankers come anywhere near your children, all you have to do is zap them in the badoobies. Thanks for coming to my TED Talks.